Hello, hi, we're the Practical Dreamers. I'm Adam.
And I'm Charleen.
You might notice something slightly different about our appearance today. I have a different tie on. There is nothing different about our appearances today.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
We're the same.
Yes, completely.
This week is week 14 for the Come Follow Me curriculum, Thou Art the Christ. It covers Matthew 16 through 17, Mark 9, and Luke 9. And as usual, we have our 20 questions on our blog. If you haven't checked that out and you'd like to, please feel free to do that at thepracticaldreamers.org. First, we are going to cover today question number 1 in that study guide, and that first references Luke chapter 9, verse 6.
Perfect. It says, "And they departed and went through the towns, preaching the gospel and healing everywhere."
Okay, and they meaning the 12 disciples or apostles. They kind of use those terms interchangeably. But the question that we asked on in our study guide, some say miracles and healing don't happen today like they used to. What kind of healing do the 12 apostles do today as they minister? And then how might they have been part of healing in your life and or have taught you? Okay, so it's kind of threefold in one question. We can get away with that. We just sneak it into one.
Yeah, cheating.
Yeah. But just some of the thoughts that I had for this is, first, it depends on how you define miracle, right? If you're talking about raising someone from the dead, if you're talking about giving somebody the ability to walk or see or hear, I don't know. I don't know if those things happen. I think they probably do.
I think so, yeah. But it's not like an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, and I would say that is probably at the hands of the 12 as well as the 70 and people who honor their priesthood and exercise it, potentially. Some of my thoughts, though, specific to this and how, maybe the miracles that we see in our lives, I think about General Conference, which is coming up, as we know, and I think of my friends and family who are not members, who have watched conference with me multiple times, and you think, well, it's just something on TV, it's not a big deal. I think it's a really big deal, and my best friend, Carly, hi.
What's up?
Hopefully she's going to watch this.
Hey, best friend-in-law.
But she loves now Elder Uchtdorf's talks, and so I always, tell her, oh, Uchtdorf's on now, or, I might send her
He's the best.
a talk. But to me, that's pretty miraculous. People who, I don't know that they're ever going to have any interest in the church other than watching conference, but even that, I think, is pretty miraculous. So it just depends on how we define miracle and if that's happening.
Yeah, they're apostles for the world, right? They're not just apostles for the church. And so the fact that they can share messages that touch people in and out of our specific denomination, I think, is part of their calling.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of like part of our calling, to share that, obviously don't beat people over the head with it, but be willing to share. I have a friend who I recently shared a conference talk with. We haven't talked about it since. I don't know if this person read it or not, but being willing to share it, say, I don't expect you to change religion, but here's something that could be really helpful because we share things in common. We share this faith in Jesus Christ. So here's something that could be really helpful to you. But
yeah, I agree.
Did you have anything else on the apostles?
Of course, yeah. No, I've
got more too.
Enough to say, too much to say, maybe. Yeah, I definitely believe in miracles today, and like you're saying, I think it really depends on the context and stuff, what miracles look like. And I think with the 12 specifically, they hold the priesthood keys, right? And then also they're part of sort of the apostolic line of priesthood, which ultimately the rest of priesthood holders sort of trace the line back to that line in a way. Maybe not under the current 12, but under the past 12s, right? And so that I only bring that up to say that, in a sense, anytime anybody in the church is doing a healing, right, of any sort through the priesthood, in a sense, you could say that the 12, right, is fulfilling their mandate to go out and heal the world. So Christ made a big deal of go out and heal the world, and in a sense, we all do that. We're sort of I don't want to say proxy doing that for the 12, but kind of like that.
Like acting as one. That's what I was thinking. Like acting as one, and this is part of being like Zion.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. So I think we're all sort of helping fulfill that sort of apostolic charge that was given to the original 12 and to the modern 12.
I like that. I was also thinking, the part of the question that we embedded here was, how they taught you. So much, right? There's just so many talks, not just from General Conference, just all the time. They're always out there speaking and helping. But to me, there's just so many talks that have given specific validation for trials in people's lives. Things that either I have faced or people I know have faced or in my family. Things like addiction, things like mental illness. That we have prophets and apostles who are in tune with the Spirit, in tune with what's going on around them and in this world and within the membership of the church and just humanity, to say, we know these things happen, you are still loved, you are still accepted, and even though you have these struggles, we know that they're real. We know that you're not just like a weak person or something like that. So that's been really, really powerful for me in my life.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of a similar thing to what I was thinking too. So the 12, a lot of what they do as far as their healing is healing of the soul, right? And healing of the heart. And there's kind of that silly thing people are saying now about President Nelson. Like, he used to heal hearts as a heart surgeon. Now he heals like spiritual hearts or whatever. But it's really true, right? That is really, like you're saying, like a lot of what the 12 and the First Presidency does is bring forth words that can comfort us. I think of like Elder Holland's Like a Broken Vessel, where he talked about depression. It was really healing for me and for other people that experience depression in the church.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of Jacob 2:8, where he talks about like how the pleasing the word of God, which healeth the wounded soul, right?
Yeah.
So I think when the 12 aren't healing people directly physically, right? Because there's 12 of them, right? Or rather 15 if you count the First Presidency. So they're obviously not going to be able to heal physically most people on the planet, or even a tiny drop of most people. But they heal people spiritually by the messages they promote. And then they send us out to heal as well. And then I think also on their individual journeys around the world, right? They try to do healings where they can and blessings where they can.
Oh, and one last thing I just thought of while you were saying that, because there's so few of them, even if you counted every single general authority, like all, that's still a teeny tiny minuscule
hundreds,
amount of people, but they're part of the organization of the church as well as our humanitarian efforts. So and what healing that can do in relationships, in physical bodies, for anatomy people, but vaccinations, just clean water, food, hygiene kits, just so many things that the 12 and the 15 are over, right? And so it's because of them and because of the structure and organization of the church that we're all able to be part of that healing process.
Yeah, I agree. Very much so. We're sort of the ultimate way to help human health, right, is to sort of address these sort of underlying causes of people being in poverty and stuff like that. And the church does a lot of good to do that under the 12 and under the Relief Society. So, yeah.
So we hope you continue to think about the 12 in your life, and especially this conference is coming up, and maybe pay special attention to the talks and see how they can help you in your life or help the people around you.
Yep.
We hope you continue to tune in, and please subscribe and share.
Yeah. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.
See ya.